This is the 2024 Audi Q8 E-Tron Prestige, and it replaces the 2020 Audi E-Tron with a new name, more range, more efficient batteries, better aerodynamics, and faster charging. The mechanical changes address customer concerns about range and performance, and so today I'm going to test it and see if it cuts the mustard. So just like the gas-powered Audi Q8, this Audi Q8 E-Tron sits at the top of Audi's SUV range, so luxury is to be expected. Now, there have been some design changes to the overall look. So you get this new dark chrome S-line trim and a slightly wider grille to enhance the slightly wider body. LED headlights on either side. So to improve drag, there are shutters in the nose that improve cooling when they're open and help you scoot through the air quicker when they're closed. And then these vents here help smooth airflow around the wheel wells. So changes to the E-Tron's steering and suspension are aimed purely at improving the driving experience. The steering ratio has been quickened and modifications have been made to the suspension. The front suspension has stiffer bushings, and you can raise the ride height by up to 3 inches. And there's a bunch of different drive modes, which I will show you once we get inside the car. So new for 2024 are these extra slippery, pretty snazzy 22-inch wheels. They're wearing these Hankook Ventus specific EV formulated tires. They're 265/40s all around. So under the hood, there's not a whole lot to see, but there are 2 motors. Front one has 189 horsepower, the back one has 231. So it's good for a combined 402 horsepower, 490 foot-pounds of torque. All 4 wheels are driven through a direct drive transmission. And the good news is the battery has been increased in size. It's now 106 kilowatts. Battery is no bigger, it's just been made more dense to provide more power. So range on this Sportback model is 296 miles. The peak DC fast charge rate has been increased to 170 kilowatts. And this one will charge from 0 to 80% in around 31 minutes. So Audi gives you not 1, but 2 charge ports. Press this button here. It opens up. Now this one on this side has the DC fast charger section. And then the one on this side is just a regular standard charger, but it's a good choice to have depending on where your charger is at home in your garage. So at the back, the Sportback is somewhat more slopey at the back rather than slightly squared off in the normal SUV. But you know what? It doesn't really affect how much storage you have inside. I'll let you know what that is in a second. Do like the styling though, except for this piano black across here. The words E-Tron are pretty cool. You've got Q8 here, a little badge, and then everything is sort of grayed out, including the 4 rings. So standard kit on the Prestige, obviously a powered tailgate. So space-wise, you get about 27 cubic feet here. In the regular one, the regular SUV, you get about 28, 29, so only 2 more. 54 if you put the seats down, 56 if you put the seats down in the regular SUV. So I'll be honest, this car looks so much prettier than the other one, I'd go for this one. Get a little bit of extra storage space on this side and on the other side. And surprisingly, there's quite a lot of space below here as well. There's a little cubby with a plastic thing here that completely comes out. You can throw stuff in there as well, and you do get a spare. So how much is it? Well, base prices start at $77,800, but this car has a lot of options. It's a launch edition and it has the Prestige package. So for $10,400, get a few extra bells and whistles. Those LED matrix headlights at the front are included. Acoustic glass is included. You get a head-up display. You get a leather-covered dash and console, and a really good Bang & Olufsen 3D sound system. You also get ventilated and massaging front seats, front passenger seat memory, heated rear seats, wireless phone charging, Park Assist Plus, and rear manual sunshades. The black exterior trim and this orange leather piping on the front seats will cost you an additional $3,750. There's also the AC charging package for $1,850. Gives you that additional charge port, so you've got those two, as I showed you earlier, and also a 19.7 kilowatt on-board charger, which is actually very helpful and makes home charging a lot quicker. Add all that up, and you come to a price that's about $95,375. Well, very nice in the back. This one has the cream-colored premium leather seats. They are very comfortable. There is no recline function, which is a bit of a miss, but you do get vents, obviously, both down here and here, and then a little control panel for your climate controls and also your heated seats on this one. 12 volt and power down below, and then when it gets too hot, you've got a little sunshade, and then of course a very high quality set of cup holders and a little spot for something flat to put in there. All very, very nice. The luxury definitely continues in the front. What I really like about these seats is not only are very comfortable and covered in beautiful soft leather, but you can automatically adjust the bolsters here and the ones on the side to make yourself nice and squished in, which is nice because it's not really a sports car, but I do like the fact that they've done that. Materials quality is, again, impeccable as ever on most Audis. Very, very nice place to be in. So the Q8 is pretty screen heavy. It's got a second display for climate controls here below the main infotainment. So up top you get your main screen. It controls things like radio, vehicle, phone, navigation, all that stuff. You can just scroll along. It clicks when you hit your finger on the button. You got navigation on this one. It's pretty quick. It's got Google Maps, Google Earth. So this is going to be one of the most important buttons here. Vehicle gives you your regen levels. I have it on automatic. If you put it to manual, brake energy can be adjusted via these paddles on the steering wheel. The most aggressive setting will just about bring this car to a complete stop. And then the other button you want to do is charging. So that's going to basically show us that we have 95% of charge left in the battery. Obviously this is a press vehicle, so we charge them to 100%, but you're going to want to normally charge them to 80. And then that also ties in with your range, which is in the driver's display. Currently it's showing 205 miles because I've got a lead foot, and according to this, I think I have, 2 miles per kilowatt. So yeah, I need to slow down a little bit. Currently I have it in all-road mode. I'll show you the modes in a second. This is definitely not my favorite part because you've got to control all the climate controls via this second screen. But below that you get your drive select button. Gives you off-road, all-road, efficiency, comfort, auto, dynamic, and individual. A ton. When you go into off-road, it turns off the stability control and it also raises the ride height. And then with off-road mode, you automatically get hill descent control. I really like the design of this shifter here because it also serves as a palm rest for when you're changing the climate controls, since you don't have any buttons. The only button you do get is this one right here for volume. So this one you just slide it back into D, back again for S, forward into R, and then P to park. Also really like the space in the middle. You get an old-fashioned 12 volt, and then here is the charger, which puts your phone at a weird vertical angle so you can't actually see it, but whatever. It does charge through my case. And then under here you get more storage space, or if you pull these little things out like that, you get cup holders. Downside is for the larger Stanley type cups, they will not fit. It just sort of pushes these down and they don't really work very well. But I do like the way it's really deep and there's plenty of storage space, and it's sort of floating. There's a little gap under here. And then the center armrest is your classic click for position. And then there's a tiny little space inside for your stuff. And then Back to the main driver display, still one of the best, can be configured in multiple different ways, and you can change your head-up display and your virtual cockpit. So you've got a choice between E-Tron, which I kind of had it in, and then Sport, that one, and then Classic. Do I really want to change? No. I've decided I'm going to stay in Sport. So as with any Audi, I cannot complain about the interior, but let's see if I can find something to complain about while we're driving. All right, so here we are on the road, and I must admit it is obviously for an EV very quiet, really nice suspension. I have it in comfort mode right now. There are like 7 different modes, as I mentioned, and yeah, very nice place to be. Super comfortable seats. Now I plugged it in and I charged it to 100, which is not recommended. You're supposed to charge it to 80%, but it's a media car, so it doesn't really matter. And everyone that drove it before me probably put it at 100% charge anyway. So with that in mind, using my charger in the garage, I have 264 miles. That's a little bit short of the 296 miles of range that this Audi Sportback Q8 E-Tron is supposed to get. So it handles quite nicely in comfort mode. I've yet to try out any of the sportier modes. I am going to head out and try it on a sort of kind of slightly rough truck trail, and we do have height adjustment on the suspension and an all-road mode for us to test out. So, once on the move, on the freeway, it's quite quick. It doesn't have the neck-snapping acceleration of, say, a Tesla does, but it's very seamless. It does slightly run out of power as you get up to higher speeds, but definitely feels like it's got 400 and some horsepower. And of course, all that torque that it has kicks in automatically, so you're not waiting for it to respond. Stick your foot down. It's very pleasantly quick. All right, so we're off the freeway now. Let's try like a 2-lane sort of back road. Very impressed with how this thing rides at the moment. I mean, it's beautifully smooth, it's beautifully quiet, it's got these acoustic windows. You can hardly hear anything outside. It steers well, it brakes well. It's got much better range than the old E-Tron model. But you'd think with the size of the battery that Audi put in this, they upped it from, what, 84 to 106? You'd think that it would have better range than this. But of all the Audis that I've driven, I've always felt like they've offered more range than what it says on the label, which I kind of like. So when you're in dynamic mode, as in any mode, you get the choice between D and S. It gives you an additional boost. It shows there on the dash. Put your foot down. Let's try that without the boost on. See if it feels the same. No. So there's almost like a slight lag between it moving. So if you want to save a little bit of battery power in dynamic mode, which for me feels actually really good. I like it. All right. Let's throw it at some turns and see how it goes. Handles pretty well in the turns. A bit of a complaint from the tires there. Steering is pretty direct. I did feel like it wants to slightly understeer on the limit, just sort of for safety's sake. But all in all, it handles pretty good. You can have a little fun in it, which is all I ask for. So we're heading up, we'll cut off onto a truck trail, we'll change it to off-road. Not 100% sure what the difference is between off-road and all-road, but we'll find out. All right, so we've hit the trail area. Let's hit drive select. Okay, let's hit drive select again. Okay, and let's go to off-road. It's now raising the ride height of the car. Okay, I can feel it. It's going up. Okay. Off-road mode it is. Let's go. Right. Does feel like it's a little bit higher on its tippy toes. Let's give it a little bit of acceleration here. Steering a little bit lighter in off-road mode. Of course, I'm not going to even attempt any of our hills in this. I just feel bad. I don't want to, never want to break a car, but this hasn't got skid plates and just, no. I'm not going to do it. Pleasantly surprised how it is soaking up this truck trail. It does get a little bit bumpier down here. And then there's a section of road that is county maintained, which is this bit, and then it pops into federal land, and the road's actually much better on that side. A little regen kicking in there downhill. I mean, the suspension's better than some off-road cars that I've taken down here. So all in all, I really like this car. I'm just concerned with the level of charging infrastructure. Electrify America has a decent network, but when you go, the chargers are down, and it's just super irritating. It just takes too long to charge sometimes. Chances are there's a little bit of water down here. Oh yeah, it's quite a bit actually. Wobble our way through it. I don't want to get the car too dirty. All right, last little bit and then we make it to the top with 204 miles left in range. Some of this road is slightly broken away on the left-hand side, and that's, wouldn't want to fall down that. All right, we made it. So what do we think? Well, if you're looking for a huge kick in the back acceleration, then that's not really what Audi does with this car. Yeah, it's quick. It's quicker than 95% of other cars. 0 to 60 in 5.2 seconds is certainly not slow. But Audi has designed this car more for comfort and for luxury instead of outright speed and acceleration. And if you want that, there's always the Q8. Anyway, once again, thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Like, subscribe, and we'll catch you next time with another video. Out.